So the other day, someone asked me on Twitter if I could make a video talking about nice girls and nice guys and comparing and contrasting them. And then asking the critical question, do they deserve the flack that they receive, I guess, on the internet, on Reddit, or larger society? I thought that was a very interesting video topic, so I decided I'll make a video on it, talking about it. So the very first thing I'm going to discuss or talk about is this idea of the so-called nice girl. This is a very new phenomenon to me. This is not something that I am very familiar with. I've never in my life once heard of a girl who believes that she's so nice that men do not wish to date her. This is very interesting to me. I've never heard of a girl who tells stories of how she took men out on dates, bought them gifts, listened to them as they complained about their daily lives or their current girlfriend, and all she wishes is that he will one day wake up and realize that she is the greatest thing ever and that he should be with her. I've never seen this before. I've seen this only, truth be told, in that Taylor Swift music video. This is the only time I have ever even witnessed this. In terms of reality, in terms of a literal, honest, nice girl who is just so nice, men just avoid her. It's just not something I've ever seen before. And when I say new phenomenon, I mean new to me. I don't mean new to the internet. Perhaps this nice girl meme or thing has always existed, and I've just never been privy to it. But this seems like a load of crap to me. It doesn't seem like there is a genuine, honest comparison or even equivalent between this so-called nice girl and a nice guy. And the reason why I say that is because of the male-female dynamic in society. What do I mean by that? What I mean is the way men and women go about trying to date each other is that men have to prove themselves worthy to be with a woman. Men have to approach the woman, talk to her, prove that he is going to be a good mate to her in whatever facet, whether it be because, he's really muscular, whether it be he has a high-paying job, whether it's he's really funny and interesting, or whether it's all the above. Whether it's any of those things, it's the men must prove themselves to the woman. So when I look at the world in this framework of the male-female dynamic, this idea that there is some girl who is trying her best to date a guy that just doesn't want to be with her, it just seems like utter nonsense. It just seems like an imaginary music video once again created by Taylor Swift. And even then, what it honestly seems like to me is the nice girl phenomenon. Again, there's no true comparison. There's no equivalent where these people are the same. What it seems like to me is a nice girl is just a girl who can't attract a man to her. And what I mean by that is the way women go about dating men is by existing. They appear to be very attractive in one way or another. Via it is them just being beautiful, posting pictures on Instagram. They just look good. They wear tight clothing. When they just physically look good. Or they parrot the opinions the man has. They like sports. They get really fake into video games. They go on the Twitch and they shake their butts and pretend to be good at something they're not. And thus they attract men by either, like I said, being pretty, or by getting into environments where there's not a lot of women, so there's less competition, and all of the men sycophant over her. This happens a lot. It seems to me the so-called nice girl is a pleasant woman, or kind woman, I guess in her mind, who fails to attract men to her by her existence, by her being. So she's not very good at that whole mating strategy that women have, which isn't much of a mating strategy as it is a consequence of existence, for being a female, right? That's what it seems like to me. So there's no real equivalent, and she's not really a nice girl in the sense that which even then I actually have to break down nice guy. I have to break down the phrase nice guy even further, actually, to really hammer in the fact that I just can't find any equivalent between the two. And that is the nice guy, supposedly. The nice guy, as he's used as a phrase, means one of three things. It means either A, he's genuinely a nice person, nice being a synonym of kind or benevolent, thoughtful and all that. He's genuinely nice. There is passive, which a lot of dating coaches and pickup artists usually use nice to mean you're agreeable, you're passive, you let the girl walk all over you, you're not aggressive enough in what you want and how you go about getting it. So they use nice as passive. And then there's the liberal feminists permeate Reddit subreddits. Nice guy It's not truly nice. They use it ironically. What those liberals on Reddit, or feminists on Reddit, mean when they say nice guy, they mean manipulative guy. They mean a guy who's not actually nice, but he's pretending to be nice to get a girl to solely have sex with him. So he's not actually nice. Now, to me, obviously, as an individual who likes to use the English language correctly, I would say, well, why are you calling him nice then? If he's not nice, why not have a different phrase? What I'm going to be using these three words. I'm going to be using nice, as in what the word means, synonymous with kind or benevolent, passive, and angry/manipulative. And this is what they truly mean when we use these words or these phrases, despite the fact they're using the exact same context all the time, right? So now that we have an understanding of how the term nice guy is used, again, dating coaches, regular people, and, the feminist, liberal assholes on Reddit, is there an equivalent between the guys and the girls? And I have to say, not really. There's not really an equivalent. I've never seen a girl who can't get a guy because she's too nice. I've seen a girl who can't get a guy because either there's just some deep psychological problem with her. I don't know, low self-esteem, poor self-image, self-loathing, something that just prevents her from hanging on to men in a tight, strong relationship, or she pushes men away when they try to get close to her. So she's single by her own volition. I've seen women be single by their own volition, but seldom do I see women single because no one wants them. I don't think that these are the same thing, because a nice guy is single because no one wants him. That's his perceived reality. The perceived reality of a woman being that no man wants to be with her is just not something that I believe truly exists, unless the woman is like deformed. Like she has to be deformed. I don't think any even ugly woman truly and genuinely cannot find a man that wants to be with her. I could be wrong here. I don't think I am. I could be wrong here. Most of the time, from what I have seen in my experience, is always the woman is single because she chooses to be single, via, again, some psychological problem, or the guys that want to be with her, she doesn't want to be with. And if that's the case, if I'm supposed to say that this is a nice girl is the equivalent, I don't think it is. I think that's silly. If she's single because the guys don't meet her standards for whatever it is, they're not attractive enough, not enough money, they're not interesting, whatever, then that's her. She can't really be upset with anyone but herself, because those are her standards. If there are guys, unless she's just so obtuse to where she can never realize that the guys around her want to be with her, which I don't believe any woman can be that obtuse. I don't think anyone can be that obtuse. Maybe, if you're autistic, I think that's, if you're autistic, by definition, you wouldn't be able to figure that out. So assuming that we're not dealing with autism, like, you would know, right? So with that understanding of just the basic level of intelligence of human beings, just, we can't pretend that, I don't think any woman could pretend that when she puts a guy in a friend zone, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't know he wants, or he could at some point, try to have sex with her. And I don't think that this is particularly wrong in and of itself, by the way, which I can go into detail later. But again, we can't pretend that she's single because no one wants her. If this guy is trying to be her friend and he's trying to cozy up to her, and of course, again, with just basic common sense, she can see he's really nice, he's giving me all this food, all this attention, all of this. And if she's still single, that's her. It's not because she doesn't have options. It's not because she's too nice that no guy can come up and appreciate her. It's because she just didn't want him. So I can't see it. That's just from my experience. This is just what I've seen, just in living reality. It's never a girl is just trying her best to convince a guy to date. She's just trying. I've never seen a woman put that much effort and try and get a man to date her. Never seen it. Where she's taking him out, dinner, reading books that he's interested in, playing video games. He's like, never seen it. So I went to Reddit in order to see if I could find a better understanding of a so-called nice girl. Because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just don't understand what the nice girl is in relation to the nice guy. Could be it. Don't think it is, but could be it. So while I was on the nice girl subreddit, I'm reading some of these posts. And the thing that's interesting to me is no amount of effort or indication that this girl is trying to be nice to attract men ever comes up, it's just always some girl who's sad that she's lonely, or some girl who claims that this guy is with a mean girl, or with a bitchy girl, or something of that nature. And I guess so far as the nice girl is I guess, I assume this is what they mean, any woman who posts an upsetting post or picture or meme or anything about how she's lonely, or about how guys don't want to date her, means she's a nice girl. This is silliness to me, because this is not accurate. I mean, the guys don't want to date her because she's nice, and even then, it doesn't even seem to be the rationale these girls are taking, from what I've seen in the memes and the posts and whatnot. But the thing is, the nice girl's mentality would not even be reasonable. It would not even make sense. And what I mean by that is, the nice guy's mentality is based in some truth. And that truth is an uncomfortable truth a lot of people want to talk about, but it's true. And that truth is that a lot of women confuse kindness for passivity. And what I mean by that is, the actions that a kind person takes is the same action that a passive person would take. So, say I have a bag of M&Ms and someone comes up and they ask for some. The kind person says, "Oh, hey, these are good. They're delicious. I want you to have some, taste them, because they're good. I want you to feel good too. Here you go." The passive person says, "Leave me alone. I don't want to deal with you right now. You asking for my stuff. Here, just take it. Go away." It's the same action, but the intent is different. The passive person doesn't want to be bothered for their stuff, so they just give it away. They don't fight for it. The kind person wants you to partake in the same thing. They want you to feel as good as they do, so they let you have it. It's the same action, but you can't distinguish the difference based on the action of me wanting to give you something versus I want you to leave me alone. Now, the confusion between kindness and passivity is reasonable, because you can't read people's minds. You can't read their actions. You can't really know unless you know the person well enough and you spend enough time with them. So the confusion makes sense, but the confusion is there nonetheless, and thus a lot of young ladies in one area, they confuse some man being kind as being passive, that he's going to let her walk all over him. He's not going to have the strength and quality of character to protect her that she desires. That's what she perceives, and that's why it's nice guys finish last. There's some truth in that. There's also truth in some women are very self-destructive. Some women are so self-loathing that they just will not accept genuine, trustworthy, kind men in their lives, and they purposefully seek out terrible relationships. There is truth in this. It doesn't mean I can't tell you the fraction, the amount, but I can tell you it's true. It happens. And so the nice guy, he can see this. He can see this reality of the confusion of kindness and passivity. He can see the destructive behavior, the self-destructive behavior that some women take. He can see it as that's reality. Now, the scope of which he's wrong with, sure. Is it mostly women? Is it all women? Is it a huge fact? I don't know. Who knows, really? But the reality that it happens is there. And for people to deny this reality is interesting to me. Why no one wants to talk about the self-destructive nature of a lot of women nowadays is beyond me. I don't really understand why people totally neglect this, but okay, but I'm not going to. But that's the truth that the nice guy sees. He's not wrong. The nice girl, on the other hand, there is no real reality, and I don't think they even exist. I don't even think this is even what the girls are upset about. I don't see the reality of this girl is so nice, men avoid her because they're self-destructive. I don't see that. I see a failure to attract men to you versus him being attracted to some girl with a big butt on Instagram, or him being attracted to some girl with long hair, him being attracted to some tall girl. It just seems it's a failure to attract men to you so you can show the strength or weaknesses of your personality, versus he got attracted to some other girl. In other words, because the female mating strategy is you have to, be attractive or alluring to get men to come to you. If you fail in that regard and you don't have the skills to go out and meet the men you want, you never built them up, because you never had to, because you're a woman and mostly men come to you, it would seem that men are always in these bad, terrible relationships with the women around you. So I guess the truth in that they see men in destructive relationships with bitchy women, I mean, I guess there's some truth in that. But the idea that they got passed over because they were too nice would just be wrong. They got passed over because they were being passive. And that's just the nature of the female mating strategy, unfortunately. That's just it's nature. And if someone wants to be upset with me for accurately describing its nature, then be mad. I don't know why you're mad with me, but you just gonna have to be mad, because that's just how women mate. And now this doesn't mean that there's never in the history ever been any woman that, you know, goes out to a guy she sees at a club, or she goes out to a guy in a library, she goes out to a guy in Walmart. It doesn't mean that never in the history of reality no woman has ever aggressively tried to get a man. But usually the most aggressive action a woman takes is she'll aggressively indicate she wants you to make the first move, usually. And that's just reality. Again, you be mad, but I didn't make it up. So nice girls and nice guys, they aren't the same. They aren't the equivalent. It seems to me on the nice girls subreddit, they just take any girl who's sad or upset about being. Actually, this is just kind of the subreddit in general. It's nature. Is it just takes anyone who makes some Facebook posts and just makes a character evaluation on how they're terrible or manipulative or bad or something of that nature, and it's just bullying, honestly. Whether wrong or right, you know, it doesn't really hurt my feelings, but it is bullying. It is just them, you know, making fun of people on the internet when they're really at their lowest point. I don't really see why they make fun of some of these nice guys, especially based on the posts they make. How freaking sad that shit is. I just don't see the value in kicking someone while they're down. A lot of these girls, there's nothing to indicate that they even made an attempt to date these guys. So they're just not equivalent in nature. They're not girls who were really nice and got passed over. They just seem to be girls that nobody approached. So they're not really nice girls. I don't really see how they could gain that delusion about themselves if they never try. You know what I mean? The nice guy, at the very least, his delusion, you know, with the manipulative guy, the angry guy, at least the delusion is that if I'm nice to a girl, she's going to give me sex, right? Based on what his mom told him or some his female friend told him, based on something someone told him. The female, on the other hand, the delusion that this guy walked past me and went to Sally is because I'm nice. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that a woman would even come to that conclusion. This guy passed over me. It's because I gave him some crackers or something, or I wrote him. It just doesn't make any sense because you didn't do anything. So why would she think that she's a nice girl for not doing something? It doesn't make sense. That's assuming, you know, these girls think logically. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but I don't think I am. The thing about it all is, usually when a lot of ladies, even the girls who get passed over by the so-called chads or the guys they want, are still, like I said earlier, are single by their own volition. I knew this one chick back in college. I mean, she's, I would say, a nice girl. I would say, you know, she's pretty cute. I think she was virgin. I was like, never even had sex, only kissed. I think one guy, had one boyfriend. Like, you know, virginal, nice girl. And, you know, every now and again she'd be like, well, how come, you know, no guy who likes me, no guy wants me. Interestingly enough, to me, is a guy didn't want her, and she friend-zoned him. He was actually the subject of a video I made many years ago. So I saw this in real time. The so-called nice girl who is trying to understand why guys aren't approaching her had a guy who was trying to date her, and she didn't want him. So she was just single by her own volition. That's just her. He wasn't the guy she wanted. And I'm not knocking her for not wanting to be with this guy. I'm not saying that every girl should settle for any guy that comes along and be her friend. That's not what I'm saying, man. What I am saying is that you're not being passed over. You're just not getting the options you want. And if you're not getting the options you want, then it's not because you're a nice girl. It just does not logically necessitate. There's no road that gets to I'm single because I'm nice as a woman. Doesn't make any sense. Especially when your mating strategy is attracting men to you and they have to prove themselves worthy for you. Doesn't make any sense to be a nice girl when you're the one who has to select and choose, you know? So, I guess I'll end the video here with the final thought. The question is, do these people deserve the flack they get? And honestly, I have to say this. I don't think nice girls really exist. I don't really get this nice girl subreddit. It just seems making fun of girls who I guess are kind of lonely, or girls who, notice that men are in bad relationships, so they make a meme or some shit. Do they deserve flack for not being pretty enough or attracting men to them? I don't think you can really criticize someone for not being pretty enough. I mean, this kind of is accident of birth. However, can I criticize them for having their standards too high or passing over men who might be really good for them? Yeah, I think so. Maybe they need someone that will just say, hey, look, take a step back and appreciate the men who are in your life, and maybe you'll find someone good. Who knows? Can I criticize the nice guy for viewing reality correctly, but misunderstanding the scope of the problem or not doing something to correct it? I mean, I guess I could, but I don't really see how anyone giving these men any more flack than they already give themselves is really conducive to anything. I think if the guy gets to a point where they're like texting a girl, like this image over here, they get to this point where they're like, looks like they're crying. You know what I mean? I don't think I need to give them any flack. I don't see any need to give them flack when they get to this point. If anything, I think you just need to tell them the truth and encourage them and help them out. But then again, I don't know. I like being nice. I like helping people, so I don't automatically come to the conclusion, hey, let's just mock them. So, final verdict. Do these people deserve the flack they get? I have to say, no, not really. I mean, they're sad people and they're lonely and they don't know how to improve themselves. I just don't see how mockery is going to help them. I think you can help them while you poke fun at them, but just simply mocking these people is wrong. It's not going to get anyone anywhere. So, I mean, it might be. I don't even find most of the jokes even to be funny, for that matter. But maybe someone does. But since I don't find it funny at all, I just say help them. I don't really think that there's an equivalent between nice guys and nice girls. I don't think nice girls are really a thing. But at the same time, are lonely girls a thing? Girls who are lonely because they get passed over? I say yeah, and they need help. But as far as mockery goes, it's just not something I think is conducive to anything. So, with that being said, man, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you did, man, go ahead and click the like button. Yeah, shoot, go and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I will see you cool cats soon. Adios.